From the Gospel according to John, as Jesus passed by, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Jesus answered, "Neither he nor his parents sinned. It is so that the works of God might be made visible through him. We have to do the works of the one who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world." When he had said this, he spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva and smeared the clay on his eyes and said to him, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. So he went and washed and came back able to see. This is the beginning of the gospel reading that we hear this weekend about the healing of the man born blind. Very appropriate for what we're going through. The question comes to Jesus about suffering and punishment. Is the suffering that the human race experiences a chastisement from God, a punishment? And in a sense it is, but people went too far with that idea. So with this idea, is it his parents' sin that caused this man to be born blind, or was it his sin that caused him to be born blind? And Jesus dismisses that and says, neither he nor his parents sinned. It is so that the works of God might be made visible through him. In the same way, we can't look at the many people who have died from the coronavirus as if they are bigger sinners than us, or as if God was particularly targeting them for punishment. That's not necessarily the case. That's the clear lesson of this gospel reading today. Jesus kind of rebukes this infantile, problematic way of looking at the relationship between suffering and punishment and sin. And I think the key for us is just to stay open to the message of Jesus and to listen to what he says to us in these gospels, because he reveals and points out mysteries. He doesn't explain all the mysteries, but he points out mysteries to us. And that's what he's doing in this gospel reading today. Later in the gospel reading, you're going to hear the Pharisees really struggling with this whole thing because it didn't fit into their template. May we just kind of reject any template that we might have that might block the presence of God in our lives. May we pray during this time of isolation, during this pandemic. May we draw closer to the Lord as he draws closer to us. And just as the blind man was healed, may he heal not just us individually, but the entire world of this pandemic. May God love you. May God be with you during these difficult times.